Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So we have Matthew Slater here, and we'll get started with the first question from Mike Reese.
Thanks, Stephanie. Good to hear your voice again. Matthew, do you want to start with anything before we start firing away with questions?
Yeah, I do. I appreciate that, Mike. I'm certainly so thankful to be sitting in this position, talking to you guys this time of year as the New England Patriots, still with an opportunity to be playing the game that I love. And, I'm extremely humbled with what God has done with my life and my career and the ways that he's blessed me and continues to provide. And very thankful to my family, to my peers, to this organization. There's too many people to thank, but I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be back as a Patriot and excited about continuing to pursue my childhood dream.
So I was thinking the last time we talked to you was on the podium there in Western New York, right? I think that sounds right. And now here we talk to you today. So it's been 2 months, if from that time, what was the defining point that led you back,
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there are a number of things that factored into my decision. I obviously still have a very, very strong love for this game. And when I say that, I don't just mean what happens on Sundays. I truly enjoy the preparation, the process of football. More than anything, I enjoy the relationships that football has provided me with over the course of the last 14 years. And, just everything that comes along with it. I'm a man now who's still able to play a child's game, a game that I've been around for my entire life. And just talking with my family and deciding what was best for us, it felt like that this was a great opportunity for us to pursue football, but then pursue all the things that come along with it, and the platform that football gives us as a family to do some things that we're passionate about, like the relationship building, like the things in the community. So it just made sense for our family. And all that being said, I mean, the Patriots had to want me back. So I wasn't going to go anywhere else. Not that my services would be sought after anywhere else either. Who knows? But I certainly appreciate the conversations that I had with Coach and where he saw this going, and happy it worked out.
And next question, Bob Sosi.
Thank you, Stephanie. Good morning, Matthew, and welcome back.
Thanks, Paul. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Regarding that platform and all the things that go along with this opportunity for you, your position as gunner on the Patriots specialist. But what's your role? Whether that's player leader in the locker room, on the field, and as you refer to the platform, your role overall as you see it now going into this season.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think in order for me to have any sort of platform, have any impact beyond what happens on the field, I still have to be a productive, contributing member of this football team. It starts with that. So my role is to do my job as a football player first and foremost. But then I see it now at this point in time in my career. I feel like things have evolved to the point where I do have responsibilities beyond the field, whether it's continuing to cultivate the culture that we have in this place, continuing to build relationships, share my experiences with younger players, encourage younger players and their families. As you know, Bob, I've always been passionate about the things that I've done off of the football field. I never thought that I'd have these opportunities, but God has really blessed me. And I feel like he's done that, not so that I can just bless myself and my family, but so that we can help other people. And my family and I are passionate about the ways that we give back. We're passionate about building relationships in the community, about helping others around us and doing it the right way. So I think with the responsibility of playing in this league for 15 years, you incur other responsibilities off the field. And I'm trying to be a good steward of the opportunities and responsibilities that the Lord has given me, and make sure that I do everything in his name, for his love and for his people.
And very quickly to follow up, Matthew, because that answer would, I imagine, be consistent with what one of your longtime teammates might say. Did you consult with Devin at all? Did his decision to come back and continue playing with the Patriots, did you guys, bounce your thoughts off each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I was joking with him. I said, I'm not coming back unless you're coming back. So, I realize how special it is to have a chance to play alongside a guy for 13 years. And Devin's not just anyone. He's one of the best men I've ever known. He's been a tremendous example for me to follow, both on and off the football field. And honestly, at this point in my career, it would be tough, I think, playing without him. There's certain guys that you really just learn to lean on and depend on. And he's one of those guys. And, I'm thankful that his situation worked out the way that it did, and mine worked out the way that it did, and that we get a chance to do this one more year.
Thanks, Matthew.
No problem.
Next question, Chris Ryan.
Hey, Matthew, glad you're back. Wanted to
Thanks.
ask, you talk a lot about the Patriots culture, and to me, and given the time you've been there, you and Dev are a huge part of that culture. James White too, coming back. How do you view yourself in kind of that lens, where you are a part of what this team is? You've established a particular culture, accountability, and so forth. How do you view yourself in that lens?
Well, Chris, I think the culture and what we've created here is bigger than any one person. There's certainly key figures that you can point to, like Coach and Tom and Mr. Kraft. But I think that as far as how I view myself here, I'm just one man, and one man can only do so much. I've tried to step up in my roles over the years as best I can, and lead to the best of my ability, play to the best of my ability, and continue to carry on the values and pillars that this place was built upon. We talk so much about what happens on the field, and I do realize that this is a results-driven business, but I think our culture has been really anchored by people, relationships, just character, toughness, those things that you can't really measure. And I think that the way you go about cultivating those things is day after day, just being consistent, day after day, pouring into people, caring about people, and day after day, maximizing the opportunities that you have. I've tried to do that to the best of my ability. I've been very fortunate in that I've had a chance to do it here for an extended period of time. But again, I just think that that's, God blessing me. There's only so much that I have control over, and then the rest has really been a gift from God, and I'm trying to be a good steward of those gifts, and I'm trying to be a good steward of the opportunities that Mr. Kraft and Coach Belichick have given me here. So as far as how I fit in that narrative, when you talk about Patriots culture and that's not for me to say. I hope I've done my part and held up my end of the bargain with what I've been asked.
And just how closely do you watch the transactions, this time of year, see who's getting better, who goes here? Obviously, JC Jackson going to the Chargers. How closely do you watch that, kind of gauge who is where in regard to how good they are at this time of year?
Yeah, well, the offseason is great, and we've seen it year after year. Teams, they make a number of exciting, transactions in the offseason, but at the end of the day, you have to go out and prepare and improve and execute when the time comes. The transactions that I do follow are the ones that involve friends. Obviously, guys like JC, guys like Shaq, guys like Chase, Brandon Bolden, Yacht. I mean, the guys that you have relationships with and that you care so much about. This time of year is tough. It's kind of bittersweet. You're happy to see guys get opportunities and get rewarded for their hard work, but you know that your relationships change when guys change locations and go other places. So I don't get too caught up in it. I know it's an exciting time for football and an exciting time for fans, and they should enjoy it. But I know as far as us here, we just have to focus on working and getting better.
Thanks. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Next question, Jim McBride.
Good morning, Matthew. Congrats on the new deal.
Thank you, Jim. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I wanted to ask you, I know you're not a big social media guy, but I wanted to ask you about Matthew Judon. He's been on social media the last couple of days, kind of recruiting guys to come to New England. And I just wanted to ask you to reflect on his first year with the Patriots. You know, a lot of guys get here and they kind of keep their heads down for a while, but he really embraced the leadership role while also showing off his kind of unique personality.
Yeah, Matthew's been great. He's been a tremendous addition for our football team. And that goes without saying, but I think his locker room presence has been fantastic. He brings great energy, and I think an energy that we needed. He keeps guys laughing, keeps guys, enjoying the grind, and he's just been a terrific fit for us. So I guess he's a GM now. Is that what you're telling me? He's out there recruiting.
Yeah, he's a cyber GM. Yep.
Okay, well. Keep doing your thing, Matthew. No, that's fun. I think he should continue to enjoy himself because we certainly enjoy having him here.
Thanks, Matthew.
Next question, Andrew Callahan.
Hey, Matthew, just to echo everyone else. It's great to see you. Welcome back.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'm just curious, you said you weren't going anywhere else and it was up to the Patriots. How quick was that conversation of, here's the deal? Are you back? Like, what were negotiations like?
Without getting into too much detail, they weren't very difficult. We're not negotiating a $80 million contract here, So it was nice to have a conversation with Bill about where he saw me moving forward, where I saw myself and what that would look like. I appreciate Coach taking the time to sit down with me and discuss that. And I've always appreciated Coach just for the opportunity that he's given me to be a part of his football team. And that's something that I've never taken for granted. And like I said, I've tried to be a good steward of that. So for him to want me back here, it really means a lot to me. For me to have a chance to play 15 years in this place. I mean, I never once thought I'd have the opportunity to do that. I was just trying to squeeze on a practice squad when I got here. So it's been a surreal ride, and thankfully I didn't lose any more hair, which I don't have any to lose during the negotiations.
And you mentioned that. Where do you see yourself kind of moving forward here?
Well, look, I hope to be a productive, contributing member of this football team. I know the things that I need to do physically. I know that process is gonna be a little different probably than it looked 10 years ago. But I don't think Coach is in the business of just keeping around guys just to have a guy to say rah rah shish kebab when the time comes. I think he wants me to do the things that I've always done over the course of my career, both on the field and off the field, and hopefully I hold up my end of the bargain.
Appreciate it, Matthew.
No problem.
Next question, Alex Barth.
Hey, Matthew, congratulations again.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.
A couple people asked, I know, about reuniting with former teammates, but you got to spend some time with Joe Judge his first time here. I know he's back officially on the offensive side of the ball, but just your reaction to seeing him back in the building.
It was like seeing that old uncle that you hadn't seen in a couple of years. I love Joe Judge. I mean, he's done so much for me personally over the course of my career. I wouldn't still be playing in this league if it wasn't for Joe. So I'm excited that he's back. Obviously, we're pulling for him and things to work out in New York, but we're glad he's back. And I know Coach is such a dedicated, smart football coach. Whatever he's asked to do, he's going to do it to the best visibility, and he's going to be an asset for our football team. So it was great to connect with him and just catch up. I look forward to doing more of that. So appreciate his family too. It'll be great to see them. But that's the beauty of this league. You build relationships, and those relationships go beyond the game, and they'll carry us for decades to come, Lord willing. So great to see Joe back.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
And final question from Mike Race.
So, Matthew, just building off something that you said about when someone was asking you about like transactions in the off season, and you said it's still a process, right? Of like getting in and improving. And so I'm thinking last season, special teams. I don't think it was up to the standard that we've seen in the past for the Patriots. I think you might agree with me there. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
So we're 2 months removed from the season. So I guess my question is do you go back and do you put your finger on sort of where things went wrong? And like, how do you know, and so what was it, I guess, that you put your finger on, and sort of what's the process to try to turn that around?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I think there are two things that are no mystery to anyone that we had an issue with last year: punt protection and penalties. And there were other things that we can discuss, but I think those are two things that we've identified what the issues are, and now it's just a matter of doing it better. So the punt protection stuff, hopefully we can get that sorted out, and it's a matter of details and technique and footwork and communication. And I think we're all confident that we can get that sorted out. And then I think penalties, look, we want to continue to play as aggressively as we can, but we have to do it within the rules of the game. And we have to be aware situationally in critical moments. We can't afford to make stupid penalties and stupid mistakes. So look, those are two things that really jump out without going into a deep dive. I mean, you guys watching the same stuff I'm watching. So, I know that Cam is excited to address that stuff and eager to get it right. And I think we all feel that same way. So hopefully we can get that done.
Family good?
Everyone's doing good. We're getting ready for baby number 4.
All right. Zone, like cover 4? Is that what, like, I mean,
it's just survival at this point.
survival? Sort of like,
that's all it is.
is that sort of like playing safety at the Pro Bowl? Just survival?
Yeah, survival. It's strictly survival. CeeDee Lamb double moving me for a 2-point conversion. Come on, what are we doing?
Thanks for taking the time for us. It's always great.
No problem. Thanks a lot, guys. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Matthew.